You was not lovely. It was actually quite difficult.
Do you know what? I'm really fed up of speaking to people and they can tell me a complete different story from how
I can only tell you how you were.
I really wasn't
from
that
my
way.
experience.
I know I wasn't.
You weren't a bully.
I know I wasn't.
But you
but many people
you
will
were
say
provocative.
I was Hardly.
Welcome to your Millennial Unfiltered Mother podcast, aka your mum podcast. My name is Christiana and I'm here with my longtime school friend, Louan.
Hi guys.
What are you saying?
I'm good.
Listen, let's all cut the crap, yeah? Because we're all mid-conversation about we're just talking broadly about sort of bullying. Because I've been seeing a lot of stuff about it, you know, in the media these days. And, you know, that thing from Little Mix put out like a thing on BBC about her bullying. Not her bullying, like trolling, like online trolling. And did you see that?
No, I haven't watched it, but I've seen little clips of it.
Yeah, so I haven't actually watched it in full.
To be honest.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in full, and I've seen like enough clips to see what it's really about. And it just kind of made me think about like school days and kind of made me feel like, did I experience sort of, you know, just sort of my experiences, and so many things that came to my mind. So many things that came to my mind, like from like primary school. I'll start from primary school. You know, I wasn't the cutest. I wasn't the, you know, and you know, remember back in our days, you know, in the 90s, being Caribbean was what was popular, was what was popping, and being light skinned was what was popping, was what was popular. And obviously I'm none of those things, and I'm glad. Hello. But back in them days, you know, there used to be times where you used to go parties and situations where you pretend to be Caribbean. Yeah, I'm Jamaican, or I'm half Jamaican. You know? Like you will fully not accept your African side, because back in the day, that wasn't cool like how it is now, where people are loud and proud Nigerian.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was all pretending to be, you know, half Jamaican because I couldn't pull off full Jamaican. I couldn't pull it off. So, you know, and it was because of, you know, being Nigerian, being African, being darker skinned, that I felt like, okay, I have to make out like I'm not these things. I can't help but be dark skinned. You know, and my name, you know, the name I was going by, Faye Tola, that's like my Yoruba name. That's very African. So I could only get away with it sometimes, but it was because of the treatment, and it was because of, you know, it not being cool back in the days that caused a problem for me. And you lot, I've just gone straight in. It's only because we were like half conversation and I'm quite passionate about it, but I'm going to go in. You know, back in primary school days, you know, I remember when it turned around. I think it was year 3. I was in year 3 and we did this sort of relay race. And it was at that point that everyone in school knew I was a runner. I could run. Do you know what I mean? I smashed it. I lapped people like anyhow. And that was from when people started to show me some respect. When it came to like playing rounders and all that, the way I was batting it to the point where it was gone. And that's when people started to respect me, because I was good at sport. So I was being chosen first. I was being, you know, respected a bit more, and people were actually interested in who the hell I was because of my abilities. And I kind of feel like, yeah, I didn't get any of the hardcore, you know, hair pulling, all that kind of, you know, yeah, I got a few name calls, but they sort of rolled off my back, I think. But it was the breakthrough was when, you know, they saw that I was actually quite athletic, you know, and it was things like that made me want to sort of, made me want to really like, you know, be better at sport and be better at everything, because that way that these mixed race and everything else kind of people will show me some respect. So did you ever experience anything in your school days?
To be honest, I was one of the lucky ones.
Why? Because you were Caribbean. You're Caribbean.
Not because I was Caribbean. I didn't really go through that whole bullying stages. For me, I sailed through school quite nicely.
Primary as well.
Primary and secondary school. I mean, I went to a primary school where the majority were European.
Where did you go?
Friars, just down the road.
Was Black Friars back then mainly European?
Yeah, mainly European. But obviously, like you said, me being West Indian, it was
coasted.
Yeah, coasted through. Whereas I did see, obviously people from an African background did get a lot of stick.
Did you ever give any of them any stick?
No.
Be honest, like you didn't mention one thing. You didn't ever feel like you were better than them.
Nah.
Come on, Lou, man.
No, I can't.
All of the Caribbean girls in school were just on this pedestal. They were it. They were what was it. You never felt that.
No.
Lies. I'm not having it.
No, I really didn't. Do you know what? I think looking back, I can see what you're talking about. Looking back, I can see what you're talking about in terms of the bullying from then to now. I think it's a lot different, but in a different way. Obviously, we didn't have social media.
Yeah, and we're lucky.
We're lucky.
We're
very,
super
very,
lucky.
Very lucky. Like I said, I haven't gone into that whole Little Mix thing. I haven't watched it, so I don't know nothing too much.
But we know enough about online trolling. Like we've heard enough about some of the youngers that we see and we hear from, and they're relentless, man. They're relentless with some of the things that they come out with, and they will nitpick at the most random things that you wouldn't even look at. Things back in the days where we didn't even care about, but because I'm even wondering how people are even coping. I was saying this to my sister the other day. I was like, some of the rules when it comes to secondary school are tight. Like, they all wear the same shoes. They all have to have the same hair color. They all have to it's so rigid. Whereas back in the day, it weren't that rigid. And I kind of felt like, we had to wear uniform, but we expressed ourselves. Come on, stay serious. We expressed ourselves through our hair and through our shoes, and through our jackets, our coats, our bags. That's what stood us out from everybody else. Yeah, fair enough. Some people weren't. You were getting the latest thing all the time, Louan. I remember. I used to be like, oh, can I just get a little extra money so I can get those shoes as well from Mark 1 on East Street Market.
Like I'm saying, I coasted through.
That's what I'm saying.
I just coasted through primary school and coasted through secondary school.
Trust me, I had a completely different experience to you because, I think what stood out for me, how I stood out rather in secondary school was the hair.
Yeah,
I had wicked hair. My hair was relaxed, but it was long, and I knew how to style my hair and all that. So trust me, when I did the fresh perm, that's when I got more adventurous with the styling. And extensions, I had the blue. Remember, I used to have
the blue
bright blue extensions. Yeah. There was never no black extensions. There was never no, and I don't do that now. I don't wear my hair like that because I like experiment with color and stuff like that. But back in the days, that's what stood me out from everybody else. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of feel like, nah, they ain't got that freedom. The rules are strict. You can only have your hair this length. You can only use this kind of color hair. You can only have it in this kind of style. And I feel like that's a bad thing, in my opinion. I get what they're trying to do. They want to make everybody look equal, feel equal. But I don't really feel like you're able to express yourself. I don't really feel like you're able to be who you really are with those sort of rigid rules.
I think it's a good thing that we have rules, to be fair.
What, that rigid?
Yeah, that rigid. I agree with it.
Why? You would never have been, you would never have liked that.
I know, but we were in a different era. It weren't as tough as how it is now. I think you highlighted something earlier when you said, I always had the latest stuff, and you was like, oh, can I have more pocket money, to try and keep up? So if everyone's not trying to keep up, I think it's easy if you're all on the same level. No?
I get what you mean, and I agree to an extent, but...
Because some people can't keep up.
But my thing is not about being able to afford the expensive stuff. That might not be what interests people. But, just being able to show who you actually are, express yourself. If it's through your hair, if it's through... the kind of shoes you wear, the kind of coat, the kind of bag you want to carry, Something, because we're already wearing uniforms.
But you need to understand that some people don't like different.
What people don't like different?
People don't like different people. And that's what I think people can't take when it comes down to social media. Why a lot of people get trolled. They get trolled for being different. Mm-hmm. And, you know, so keeping it like that in school, it kind of rules everything out.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I get it.
Because I just put myself in those shoes, and I just kind of feel like, would I have been able to stick to those rules? I don't think so. I would have asked that I do not be put in a school where I can only have my hair one color. I can only use this bag. I can only wear these shoes. Like, no, that was my only thing. That was my only thing that, you know, and that people were interested in when it came to me. Like, was my hairstyles. Like, people were excited to see my hair and what color I was going to do next and what style I was going to do next. And you tell them I can't even do that. Then what would I have had? Do you know what I mean? I never had that loud personality. The cool, I was, you know, later on, sort of year 10, year 11, when I started dancing. Yeah. That was something that also stood out with me, you know. But before that, I didn't have anything. So it's like, you know, being able to express myself using my hair, and I kind of needed that, or I would have been lost. But then, you know, if everybody just sort of looks the same, is the same, I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like that. I can't have Seth, start school and they're telling me his hair has to be level 1. I'm seeing that. With some of these rules when it comes to boys' school. Like, they don't let you have like high tops, or they don't let you have like crazy like sort of hairstyles and all that. Like, you know, your hair has to be level 1. And I'm thinking, huh? No, man, I'm not cutting his hair for you. No. Like, how is he gonna be any better because his hair is the same level as everybody else?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but
I'm not having that rule. I'm not putting him in no school where they're telling him I gotta cut his hair. I mean, do you know what? His hair might already be low. That might already be, you know. I'm not saying that I'm gonna keep his hair forever. You know, he might. So I'm not cutting his hair until he tells me, you know, I want to cut my hair. Mum, like, I'm done with all his hair, and that's when we're gonna cut his hair. What?
Okay, so yeah, for me, I didn't experience bullying in school, but obviously it's crazy when I hear stories about people that I hang around with, or, you know, people that I've met from school, and they'll be like, oh, you know, this is what was going on, and I'm like, wow, I never knew that sort of thing. Like, it's like I was oblivious to certain things, and then what's crazy is when people tell me that I may have acted a certain way towards them. And I'm like...
Like how? Like what?
It's a borderline bullying as well. I'm not going to lie.
Did you ever, like, so you never really thought that you, not bullied, but provoked someone?
No. I'm being totally honest here.
Let me tell you something.
I'm being totally honest. Anything that anyone's got to say to me, I'm like, nah, this ain't true what you're telling me.
It is.
Nah, it's not.
No, don't take it. I don't, look,
No,
I've known you since secondary school days, right?
Yeah.
You were not a bully.
I know I wasn't. But many people will say I was a bully.
You were a joker.
That's the right
Sometimes
thing.
it was at the expense of... Sometimes it was at the expense of me. It was at the expense of anybody. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, you were always...
bulimia, man.
I caught Louan shoving her fingers down her throat on the bus after eating chips. It's not funny because people are actually dealing with this stuff. But I've got actual tears in my eyes. Like, okay, you were a joker. Like, everything was a joke. Do you know what I mean? Because I remember saying to Stephanie, no, man, I don't like this girl, man. Nah, man, she's always trying to come for me. Like, she's always trying to say things.
Which Stephanie?
The one that used to live at number 10.
What, did you used to hang around with me and Stephanie?
Let me get to that.
Okay.
I didn't want to. Yeah. But you would always insist, whenever you came around the area, to come and knock for me. I mean, you knew full well I didn't want nothing to do with you and Stephanie.
But we were being nice. See, you're the bully.
That's not nice.
See, you're
knocking my door after I've told you I'm not interested, and still knocking my door is you're trying to provoke a reaction out of me. You were trying to provoke a reaction out of me. I won't go as far as call that bullying, but if it's excessive, it's excessive. It's excessive. You're bullying.
Nah.
And you and Stephanie used to just laugh like it was funny. It's not funny. It's not funny. And that's where the line is. You have to realize when something's funny or not.
I was just a funny girl.
So when people come up to you and tell you, "Oh, this is what I feel like you used to do towards me," how does that make you feel? Do you just not want to believe it?
I feel like everyone's lying.
Why?
Because that's just not.
What do you mean everyone? How many people have approached you?
A lot of people.
So don't you think you need to start thinking about this?
Nah, not even. Not even in the slightest.
Why? Because you're so adamant and you believe that you did not intend to cause anybody to be uncomfortable or...
Most definitely.
I agree with you. I actually feel like that was not your intention.
It really wasn't.
But let me tell you what you've always been just this confident girl who's got it easy, like who's just living life, and not everybody had that sort of thing, and that's not a bad thing. Do you know what I mean? But you intimidating sometimes.
Oh wow, here we go.
Let me tell you something, and it's not even a thing about you. It's more actually about me. There were times because when we did actually start hanging out, I had something to prove.
Really,
I needed to be as cool as you. Do you know what I mean? I could be cool. Do you know what I mean? I can stay out a bit longer. I can speak a bit hood, speak a bit more with a bit more slang. Do you know what I mean? I got elders. I got friends. Do you know what I mean? I was busy trying to impress you, especially in them beginning stages when we first started hanging out. You know, I wanted to impress you. I wanted to hang out in your spaces. I wasn't very much interested in you coming to my spaces. Yeah, because my spaces was church. That was it. Okay. I weren't really trying to bring you into my world. I was more trying to be integrated into your world. Okay, like hanging around with your elders and all that stuff. So. You know, just my mannerisms. I'll pick up certain mannerisms from you, and it was good. I got into trouble when we used to go to them under 18 raves.
Was it even under 18s? Because I don't even think they were under 18.
What were they?
I think they were like
raves, but they let us in.
Raves, but they let us in.
But do you remember when South Links East?
Oh yeah.
And there was another one that they used to at Caesar's Palace.
Yeah, I remember.
What was it called?
No, it was like South Links East, Buff Girls meets Hot Boys.
Yeah, and all them. But those were under 18 raves.
Yeah.
I can't believe they used to do under 18 raves.
I know you'd never get that now.
Good. And it was in these big clubs that sold big drink.
Were we drinking? Did you get drink in there? I don't remember there being drinks sold.
I don't remember, but it was a big... Because there were people there over 18.
Oh, yeah.
There were loads of people there over 18, but there was an under 18 rave. And it was like...
Top Boy. That was one of the...
Top Boy, yeah. I remember. And they did one at Vauxhall. They did one.
Yeah.
I can't believe they used to be under 18 raves.
I know, crazy, right?
Like, what the hell is that? We used to queue.
I know.
At night.
I know. At night, yeah.
I remember that time where...
Everyone said they slept at mine.
Yeah. I was saying
but no one was sleeping at mine.
I wasn't even allowed to sleep at yours. I had to be back by like 10 o'clock or something like that.
Yeah. And
I was like, yeah. We're just gonna watch a film and I'll be back. I knew full well I weren't back to you like that night. We went to Top Boy. I think we went to Caesar's Palace. I think that's where it was. And it was Tosin. It was my brother who knew where you lived. He knew where you lived. So he came to your house, found out we weren't there, went home and told. And they were calling my phone. I remember being in that rave up to my madness and my phone was popping off. It was my dad, it was my brother, it was everyone. And I just knew the trouble. I knew the beats that I was going to get when I got home. Like, I went back to yours anyway because I couldn't.
It was my mum that filled me in.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, she called me to let me know that,
Yeah, that people are knocking your door, looking for me. Door. And yeah, the next day, I got beats. I got the beating of my life. But I knew I was going to get that. I knew that was the consequence. But I was ready to risk it, to be a part of the crew, to not miss out. I'd missed out on enough under 18 raves. I hadn't gone to all of them. I'd missed out on enough of them, and I was sick of it. Do you know what I mean? I didn't get why these rules were in place. I didn't get why all of you lot were allowed to go, and none of your parents gave you any stick for it. But for me, it was like, gang. There was no explanation. You're just not going. And I was like, no, I'm gone, man. Like, forget this. And yeah, it was mad. To feel like you're always missing out on things. You're always not allowed to go here. You're always not allowed to do this. You're never done with any money to splurge on Clothing Club and Mark 1. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, nah, enough was enough. I'm coming to this thing because I wanted to impress you lot. That was my whole thing. It was like, enough of going to school the next week. Everybody's talking about Top Boy. Everybody's talking about South Links East. Was I there though? No. No, enough was enough.
And it's so crazy because we were so oblivious. I never knew this was going on.
Do you know what I mean? Exactly. Because, those same like strict sort of rules, you just didn't have. There was a lot more leniency. Do you know what I mean? And, and you just want to be accepted. You want to be a part of like the cool lot that go to these raves, that go to all of these things, and you want to be invited. You actually want to be invited. You don't want to be left out because they know that full well your parents aren't going to let you out. So you actually want to be invited. You actually want to be a part of the conversation and the experience.
Well, just put yourself into this era's shoes. With the whole social media and the way girls look now on Instagram with the big bums, the long hair, the fair skin. Could you imagine now trying to compete as a young person in this day and age? If that's like, all you was trying to compete with back in the day, being let out to go with us lot to an under 18s rave.
I so seriously feel for the ones who, again, are in a bit more stricter households where they're not allowed to wear any makeup. They're not allowed to put in any hair extensions, any hair weaves, because they probably feel like how I felt, left out, not a part of the gang. Do you know what I mean? And I actually really feel for them. So I'm thinking for myself, when I have a girl and, they're older, it's going to be hard for that balance. Like, do I let them wear makeup a little bit younger than I'd like? Just so that they don't always have to feel left out because all their other friends are wearing it and their parents are fine with it? Or do I just put my foot down like how my parents did and be like, absolutely not. Like, not until you're 18. Like, there's no question about it. Like, it's really tough, man. I do not want anyone that I raise to go through that. To go through, like, they have to go to the extremes of disobedience or hide things from me because I'm just telling them straight up no. And all around them, all they see is makeup, hair weaves, them going to these places and them going to that place, So it's like, it's tough.
It is tough, but I still believe there needs to be rules.
Yeah, man, there has to
be rules. And there's certain things that I don't agree with that kids are allowed to do.
Like what?
Like I said, a kid is a kid. A child is a child.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
At your age.
That's the thing. I think that's what my parents were doing. Yeah, that's what I think my parents were doing. They were keeping me a child. They were telling me I had no business being in a rave. Yeah. And I didn't have any business being in it. Even if it is an under 18s rave. I had no business raving at 15, 14. That's not. And these raves were at night.
Yeah, it's really weird when I look back. Really, really, really weird when I look back.
It's madness.
I actually don't know what that was all about when I think about it. Because these raves were starting at like 9 o'clock in the evening.
There were night raves.
And we weren't getting there to about 11.
Yeah.
When I look back, it was actually really wild.
It's
really,
insane.
really wild. I remember actually there used to be a club in Camberwell. And it used to be next door to the bus garage at the time. And I remember my mum took me and my friends to that under 18s rave. I was queuing up with the other mums. They when I look back.
What, so they let you go and they went home? They didn't even come in?
Like parents were taking the kids.
Yeah.
And dropping us off there. Maybe in them times it was, I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe it was
parents
normal.
used to come and pick up our friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Maybe it was normal then. But today, in this...
There's no
way.
The violence wasn't as...
There was no violence like that.
It wasn't as... even the beefs, the people were punching each other up. Like, people were all shoving each other. They weren't fully going for knives and guns. Like
the only thing we had was fireworks.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, when we used to run away from fireworks and all that. Yeah. Now, I don't really see much of that now. But, now people are dashing acid and they've taken it a step too far.
Yeah.
I get it. I get
peer pressure.
Peer pressure is a real thing, and it's not something that you should ignore. Simple, no, you're not allowed. No. Nah, or whatever. I feel it's not enough. Because especially when you got friends who are allowed to express themselves, who are allowed to go out, who are allowed to wear this and wear that, who are allowed to wear makeup, who have their long ass ponytails, and all these things, weaves and wigs on their heads, and those are your friends. Those are the people who you socialize with. Those are the people who you're around a lot in school, and all you're hearing is no, nah, you're not allowed. Nah, you're too young. It's like you're never gonna accept that. You're never gonna take that in as a reason. You're always gonna see it as, why are you so strict? Why are you so hard? These people are wearing these things and they're so much happier. They have so much of a better school experience. They have so much, a better time with all their friends. But yeah, there's me, the one who's just not allowed to do nothing. And why? I'm not going to change because I'm wearing this and wearing that and wearing makeup. I'm still going to be me. Fair enough, you want to keep me young forever, but you're making me unhappy. You're making my school experience unhappy.
I don't know. I don't think it was a bad thing. It's what your parents
Now done. I'm an older person. I know.
Because when looking at it now, I think it was the right thing for them to do.
Yeah,
maybe
of course.
Because we've come of age, everyone's parents.
But, I'm just saying, I just don't want, my children to have that sort of difficult.
I think there's a compromise.
Yeah, and it's the friend you choose, man. I didn't have to hang around with you lot. Do you know what I mean? You lot were my friends, but I didn't have to. There were other people who had the same rules. I'm not saying because we all have the same sort of household rules, we all have to hang together. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that.
I think as well. Do you know what shocks me? You saying this is just because we weren't even the cool kids in school.
We were.
Like,
I wasn't.
Neither was I.
Yes, you were.
I really wasn't.
You were friends with the cool kids. Were the ones that in reds and yellow.
Okay.
Yeah, you were friends with all of them.
I thought it was just all normal.
No, they were the clear, more popular group in school. The clear ones, yeah, and then there were the clear ones who weren't. Yeah, let's keep it all the way real. Then there was us, the people who can mix with the not so cools, and the people who can roll up on the cool ones and still have a good friendship with those ones as well.
And I thought that was me.
I was in that middle category as well.
I think I was the middle cat.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, you actually were. And I liked being in that sort of middle lane where the cool ones would let me into the form room during lunchtime. It wasn't them ones where, no, you can't come in there. I was letting. And then I could still hang around with the not so cool ones and not feel like the cool one because I got cool friends, but still just integrate and have a normal chat with the not so cool ones. Like, I kind of feel like I like that middle. I like that middle ground. I wanted that middle ground. I didn't want to be a part of the call up because I would be getting up to madness.
And that's what I think as a parent there should be middle ground.
Right? How can you?
I think you like I said, compromise. Obviously, have your rules, keep your morals, your values, but obviously you understand what it was like for yourself when you was young. So I'm sure you know how to be with Seth and your other children later on when they when these things occur.
The thing is, like, I think their compromise in terms of my parents was allowing me to dance. Was allowing me to go to dance class every Monday evening, and I think Thursday evenings as well. I don't remember, but allowing me to actually do that. That was their compromise, because it was I was after 6:30. During the times I had to be at home basically. So that was year 10. That was year 10. Well, I would have been year 10, 14, 15, 14 going on 15. So I think that was their compromise, because anytime I got into trouble, my dad knew that by telling me I can't go dance was the biggest punishment. Beating at that age obviously don't work anymore. You smacking, it doesn't work. So you take away things like, for me, that was dance. That was very, 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 very painful, because missing 1 week, again, you're just left out. Everyone is doing the routine from the week before. You're just left out. You don't know it. Do you know what I mean? And being put back into that space was the hardest. And and it's like almost like they knew, but I'm sure they didn't know the extent that it went. But it's just that fear of missing out. That whole thing, especially in school days, that is really tough. And you would make the worst decisions just so you don't miss out, just so you're not left out. And that is the problem. I just kind of feel like even now, like me, if I don't want my child to be doing something, if I don't want them to be wearing makeup and all that stuff, I have to know that you can't just say no. I won't say no. I would explain why I don't think it's a good idea. And I will be doing that from when they're young, and teaching them to love themselves, love their skin. I'll be telling them they're beautiful every single day. They're never going to know. They're never going to not know that they're gorgeous. If they get to a certain age where they want to start wearing like sort of, makeup, I don't know if I'll be able to say no. I think my compromise will be, you can only wear mascara or some popping lip gloss. Like, no foundation, no, concealer and all of that, because you're just going to ruin your skin.
Is that your reasons for why you don't want your kids to wear makeup? I think that's what I would say. But I will let them wear, like, if she's like, oh, you can only wear mascara. But what is your reasoning for why you don't want them to wear makeup?
Because, they are too young to be wearing it, but they're not going to hear that. Yeah, especially if their peers are wearing it. They're not going to hear it. They want to do it as well. Cool. Coming from where I come from, I get it. So I'm going to tell them, your skin is just too young to be dealing with all this heavy. And why do you want to make up? Because you want to make yourself look prettier. That's the problem. If it's because you just want to fit in, wear mascara. Wear mascara. Wear, this lip gloss and even lip liner. I can deal with that. But you're not wearing foundation. And if they can't deal with that, then that's on them. You're not wearing foundation. You're not wearing these things that, change the tone of your skin, that, will affect your skin in the long run. You're not doing it at the end of the day, because you're going to ruin your skin. You might not know that now. I'm letting you wear this and this and this. You have to take what you can get. I'm not just going to be straight up no.
For me, it's hard.
What's hard about that?
A lot of things is hard for me as a mother, because I don't want to come across as a hypocrite to a certain extent, because I done a lot of things early and a lot of things are visible on me also that my children
like
can
piercings
see.
And that.
Yeah, I got pierced very, very young.
They don't need to know how young you got pierced.
I know, but I've got piercings, I've got tattoos, the whole shebang. Do you know what I mean? And obviously,
you don't want to come across hypocritical just because you have these things.
I just think at a certain age, I do believe, that's the right time. Okay, cool. You can make the decisions for yourself to a certain extent.
What age is the right time?
Well, we pierce our kids' ears from when they're a baby, right? But I'm talking about other facial piercings. I wouldn't want that when they're under 16. But once they get over 18, maybe, that's fine. You can do what you want.
I've said that,
But, I mean, I got my nose pierced when I was 12.
See? You see that?
I
would have never, I wouldn't even have dreamt it.
I know. See, that's crazy, right? When I look back, I'm like,
yeah.
When I look back, it's like, what? That is mental. £1.50 Wharf Road in the
Claire's accessory.
No, not even that. That was too expensive. Inside the pharmacy shop.
Oh my god.
At the time when they used to pierce you with a gun, not even with a needle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think makeup for me, you don't need it. That's what I'll be telling my daughter. She doesn't need it. What do you need makeup on to go to school for? Whereas, okay, if we're going out and you want to make yourself look a bit more prettier, then go for it. But not a lot. Not that whole contouring thing. I don't mind a little lip gloss, mascara.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Still innocent.
Yeah, I kind of feel like if it's for the wrong reason, if you feel you're not pretty and you feel like by wearing makeup, it's going to make you prettier, we have a bigger issue here. It's a bigger issue. Yeah, I can compromise and let you wear these little bits, but you know, we've got a lot to sort because I cannot have you walking these streets, you know, feeling like you're not pretty and you need makeup to look pretty.
How do you feel about social media? Do you feel that you don't want your kids on it, or how are you gonna deal with this?
I won't mind them on it from when they start school.
But this is where the pressure comes from.
There's rules, yeah? It's a private account. I'm going to know everybody that's on your friends list. I'm going to know everybody that's on your list because it's going to be everybody in your school or from church or from our family. I'm going to... In fact, your Instagram is going to be my own Instagram. You're not going to have your own. In fact, your Instagram is going to be on my phone. Like, simple. You know? If you feel like you want to be, you know, in this world, cool. But there are limits. Yeah, I'm not gonna say full straight up and down. No, you can't. You can't have these accounts. No, you can't. Especially when all your friends are running around doing Snapchat. I can't be the one that says you're not gonna be included. I'm not gonna be the reason why you're just missing out on everything, because I know what that feels like. I had to deal with that. I get it, but there are rules. Everybody on your friends list, I know. You cannot send private messages. Even if you do, go and send it then. Trust me, I would have read it first. I'm all up in your business up until you reach college. And that is it. Like, nah, I'm not having it.
But do you not think that's where the pressure comes from?
The pressure comes from not having it. Yeah. At the end of the day, this era in particular, we're in that era. This is the era now. And I kind of feel like a lot of people are so like, nah, man, I don't care, man. No, they're not having it. You're causing more of a problem because you're just staying stuck back in your day. Back in your day ain't a thing anymore. Like, that's not what's running around here. What's running around here is everything is online. Everything is digital. You know, it's important for these kids. We were running around with bricks for phones at the end of the day. So it's different. These people are running around with smartphones. It's just different now. End of. We have to move with the time. We have to understand that this is where we are at the end of the day, and we have to just sort of learn the culture and be a part of it as well, and just make sure that we're protecting, you know, our children from what they see, what they experience. You know, we're reading their messages. We have to read their messages. Sorry, I'm reading your messages because I need to make sure no one's trolling you. I need to make sure you're not trolling nobody. Which brings the question, I brought up a hypothetical question to a group of other ladies. Would you prefer your child to be the bully or to be bullied?
That is a very crazy question.
It's hypothetical. Of course, as parents, we don't want none of that. But let's be all hypothetical here and put ourselves into that situation. Would you want to hear the news that your child had been bullied or that your child was the bully?
I think I'd rather my child be bullied.
Why?
Because I feel if my child is being bullied, it will push her or him to become a better person and to beat these bullies.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm on the same wavelength as you. I'm going to call my cousin because she has a whole different way of viewing it. Hold on. For honest blog posts about single and co-parenting, tips and advice on kids' style and recipes, head over to notestomamamablog.com. And to see me and mine living our daily lives with vlogs and some mummy hacks, head over to my YouTube channel, search Notes to My Mama, and you'll see us there.
Hello?
You're live on your mum podcast. Can you
I'm
hear me?
live?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
What? Yeah, I can.
So obviously, you know, one of the obviously harder questions that I'd asked, like we had a massive discussion about, was the hypothetical, absolutely hypothetical. God forbid it ever happens. But we was to get a call from school, and they was to either say your child has been bullying someone or your child has been bullied. Which one would you prefer to hear, hypothetically?
This is such a difficult question because I could say, do I have to choose?
Yeah.
Gosh. Dependent, no, it's not even dependent. It's wrong on all levels, whichever stage the child is.
Yeah.
But if it's, let's say, primary level or nursery level, and they say a child is bullied, like, I think I'll be a bit more upset. I don't want to use the word I'll be a bit more, I don't want to say I'll be a bit more upset, but if they call me and say your child is being bullied, I will go absolutely mad.
Yeah.
They call me and say your child was bullying somebody.
Yeah.
Now, would I go absolutely mad? Maybe not. I would want to find out what's going on and why my child would need to bully this person.
Yeah.
But then I'm not saying that I prefer my child to be the bully.
Mm-hmm.
And in higher education as well, same thing. Like if someone was bullying my child, I would not have it. The whole school would hear of it. It would just be the end.
Yeah.
Same thing. If they called me to say my child is the bully, it's a difficult question.
It's so hard. I know.
It's a difficult question.
It's so
because,
hard.
Okay, I'm just going to answer it. I'm sorry. I apologize to the world, but my child being the bully.
Yeah.
Because as I'm saying it now, and then the thought of me getting a phone call,
yeah, God forbid
and they're telling me my child is saying that, my child has been bullied, I won't.
Would you just be let down about the fact that she could get herself bullied?
I don't know if it would be no. I don't think I'll be let down. I'll just be. I'll be disappointed maybe in the fact that she didn't stick up for herself. Mm-hmm, because obviously the way I raised her,
yeah,
you should be able to stick up for yourself.
Yeah.
But I won't blame her or anything.
Yeah.
But I'll be disappointed and I'll be furious that somebody even has the audacity to come and bully my child.
Yeah.
So I don't want it to be bullied either.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because where I stand on it, I kind of feel like, okay, in a hypothetical world, God forbid that happens, I have to keep repeating this. But, if someone wants to call me and tell me that my child has set out to ruin somebody's day versus my child and has gone out and someone has chosen to ruin his day and has actually succeeded in stressing him out, which call would I hypothetically
speaking, bullying has
prefer?
levels. Bullying
There's
is bullying,
levels,
I get
yeah.
it, but there's levels. There's bullying in the sense where, they classify bullying as, somebody speaking about someone behind their back or, laughing at them or something. That's classified as bullying.
Yeah.
But if it's bullying in the sense where my child is like planning how to go to school and like either beat this child up or, just do something really cunning to this child.
Yeah.
That is another level of that means something has gone wrong.
I don't
somewhere.
know. I don't know. I mean, I say it like I don't get it because there was this video circling around online. There was this group of schoolgirls. There was this group of schoolgirls, and there was like this big crew. They were really, really getting at this one particular girl. They're really getting at her, man, saying, do you know who I'm from? Do you know? I don't know what they were talking rubbish. Anyway, it ended up in a physical altercation, and one of them just took it too far and started beating up on this girl, and they all started beating up this girl, and it's just like, if I was the parent of one of the people that was attacking this child, how will I look this person in the face? How would
I'm
that
sorry
look
to
you?
say,
How
I
would that
really
look you?
apologize. But if I was a parent of the child that had gotten beat up, it.
Your heart will be
I
broken.
would just, I don't know what I would do. I just don't know what I would do.
So do you think you'd be better equipped to handle it if
My child was the bully? Yes,
right, okay.
100%.
Okay, I get that.
100%. Because in that sense, I know what to do in a sense where I can speak to my child and make them understand that, this is not the right way, whatever's upsetting you. Or, most of the time bullies bully people because of what they're going through, not because they actually want to bully these kids. They're bullied because of their own personal thing. So, if my child was a bully, I will sit that child down and get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
But you can't sit a child down that's been beat up.
Yeah.
There is no sitting down. There's no discussion after that. You finding that child, finding the parents, and
Yeah, of course there's a discussion. They can discuss. You can discuss that. What happened to them was not their fault.
Okay.
Louan.
But my initial response won't be to sit my child down and be talking. It won't be. It would not be. That's what I'm saying to you. Like, it's just, it's sad on both ends, to be honest. On both parts, it's sad to be bullied and to be the bully.
I think both of them are horrible. I personally feel I will find it harder to speak to the bully than the one that was bullied. That's how we're so different. I think I will find it harder to look one of those girls, like one of the the bullies, and one of the people that was getting in the one that was bullied face. I'd be done. I'd be not done, but I'd be like, what am I supposed to say to you? How do you think that this is okay? How can you think that this behavior? What have I done wrong? Where have I gone wrong that you feel that you being in a group of all these girls attacking this one girl is okay? I wouldn't know how to speak to that person, but the person who got bullied, I would know more what to say to that person. I will let them know, this wasn't your fault. You handled yourself well. It wasn't your fault. There was no way you could have won this. There was 5 against 1.
So then, okay, I get it. But then you're gonna speak to the child that has been bullied. Okay, you handled it well. How is that resolving the issue of being bullied? How is that issue? The child will go to school the next day thinking, okay, well, I got beat up, but I handled it well. There's nothing I could have done.
Yeah.
Next day, same thing. Come home. I'm sorry, that's not the case on my part. Is not the case whatsoever. Like I said, bullies. It's not necessarily they do things based on what they're going through. So he's not even know, what have I done on my part for my child to feel like. Sometimes it's totally outside the family. Something that this child is going through within themselves. Do you know what I mean? So you can talk about that. And if it's a different story if the child keeps bullying after you've tried and you've intervened and the child, then your child needs to see a specialist or something. But my child come home all black and blue, and I'm all sitting there, my child say, oh, there's nothing you could have done, oh, this and that. I might even I'll be upset the fact that my child didn't even defend herself in the first place, number one. Number two, there is no discussion. There is no, these things happen. No. Because the way I'm raising my child is, the way I am is that kind of thing cannot even happen. Because number one, I was never bullied as a child. So, there are ways to even...
Wasn't you? Swear down.
No, I was not ever bullied as a child.
You had all these nicknames.
Yeah, I wasn't bullied, but I used to fight a lot. And most people I was fighting are people that are bullying other people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there was no way. You know what? I'm not saying people are different. I understand. I get it. People are different. But there are just some people you cannot bully. There's just some people you cannot bully.
Yeah. Because
the way they react and the way they take it, bullies will just not have any chance. They just can't bully them. For example, a child, someone may be coming to someone and say, oh, look at your hair. Now, if you're a confident person and you know how to handle yourself and hold yourself, the kind of response that you can give to these people, the way you respond to them is how they will continue. So if you're like, timid and putting your head down and looking like you're affected by what they're saying and this and that, they will continue.
Yeah.
So if you stand up straight away and give it back to them, not necessarily even get into any, altercation, but like stand your ground and say, stick up for yourself straight away. They're not okay. This one's a bit. Don't go on to the next.
So you're more impressed by the stronger sort of character.
My child needs to know how to handle herself when I'm not there.
Yeah.
She needs to know how to handle herself in any situation. Mm-hmm. Because if she comes home and tells me she's been bullied, the first thing I'm going to ask her is, what did you do about it? What did you say back? What did you do? If she comes and says someone beat me, did you hit the person back? I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. If she says no, we're going to have a problem. Mm-hmm. Because if you're telling me you didn't start trouble came to you, someone just came and just hit you for no reason, and you stood there and looked at the person like a mug, what are you coming home to do? You better defend yourself. Go back and defend yourself.
Yeah.
Tough love.
Now, if you know your child is not that kind of person, if you know your child is the quiet type and, this and that, that's okay. I understand that you can't really force someone to be what they're not. You can't really.
Yeah, you can't force someone to have a certain sort of character.
No, you cannot.
But that's what I'm saying. You can.
But they're still not talking to the child saying it wasn't your fault.
Yeah,
I'm still going to handle it.
Of course there is.
No way.
I wholeheartedly disagree. Of course there is. Of course there is. I feel like I will have more to say to the one being bullied. I will know more what to do. You can enroll them in self-defense classes. You can teach. You can even teach them. Be like, all right, someone comes at you like this. This is what you do. This is what you say. This is what's going to run them away. If I have to deal with someone who is causing these problems, I promise you, I will find it harder. What to say to them. I would wonder why. What kind of aggression? Do you know what I mean? And yeah, it will force me to look at myself, look at my household and how it's run, look at the influences around them, and look at why they have become.
So you're saying
this person.
If your child was a bully, it would devastate you more than if your child came home all black and blue?
Yes.
Maybe.
That's what I'm saying. But anyways, I'm gonna continue on with the podcast. But thanks for giving us your honest opinion. That's what we do around it. Honest opinion, because that's what this is all about. But we'll catch up anyway. I'll call you back in a bit.
All right, love. Speak to you later.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Yeah. So
listening to your cousin, I understand where she's coming from.
But it's completely the opposite to what you were saying.
Yeah.
I get where she's coming from. I just disagree. I'm just looking at it at another angle. I kind of feel like I will find it harder to deal with the fact that someone's calling me, telling me that my child has caused someone, issue. My child has, caused someone to not want to come back to school. My child was the reason why somebody is, struggling. My child is the reason why somebody is dealing with a mental illness now. If someone was to call me because my child caused that versus my child coming home and having all these issues because of somebody else, I think I'd rather the latter phone call. Of course I'd rather none of the phone calls, but I think I would know more how to deal with the latter phone call than someone telling me that my child will caused this. I don't know which kind evil, which kind badness that they would have seen, that they would have experienced, and I can't. I don't know how to.
But it's not necessarily, that they experience some badness or evilness while they're.
So what? They just bullying for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually agree. Some people do bully for fun, and I just kind of feel like I can't have that.
And some people generally don't know that they're bullying, like myself. Like I said, I genuinely
you weren't bullying.
Yeah, but a lot of people will say that I was bullying when really and truly I was making a joke out of things, but it was actually really nasty in hindsight.
You weren't bullying. I'm not going to have this. You were not bullying. You were just a strong character. You were just a confident character. You may have been intimidating, but you did not wake up in the morning and set out to ruin someone's day. Did ya? No. Exactly. So you weren't no bully. I'm not having that. I'm just saying, if people...
But taking the piss out of people is still classed as bullying.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was
But if
doing.
if you know that you're causing this person problems, and that is actually what you're getting the thrill out of, as opposed to just... Look... if you keep laughing at someone's shoes, yeah, every single day they come into school, you're laughing at an item of their clothing. You're bullying this person because I'm telling you now, they're dreading coming into school and having to deal with you. But if you made the one throwaway comment and you never said anything about it again, are you still a bully? You're not.
No.
You know, and it's up to that child or whoever to say, listen, allow it. And that's all it takes. If you stop after you've been asked to allow it, then you're cool. If you keep going, knowing you're affecting this person, then yeah, you're a problem.
I think the question that you asked was really hard.
I actually know how really difficult that question is.
It was very,
I
very,
always
difficult.
stress it's hypothetical. But listen, yeah, we need to start really thinking about these things, especially the school age, because we can't close our eyes.
I'm actually backtracking on myself now. Going back, I'm thinking to myself now, listening to your cousin, listening to you, going back to that question that you asked, I think I'd be really angry
at
my child coming home and telling me they're being bullied.
Angry at who?
My child.
Why?
Because I know what type of person I am. So I'm confused how my child is allowing someone to be that way towards them. I will have to question and ask. This is confusing to me.
Yeah.
And the same questions that your cousin just said, did you hit them back? Did you say something? I'd be like that as soon as they came home and they told me this. I'd actually be rather confused. They've got such a strong mum, an outspoken one.
Yeah.
So I don't understand.
That doesn't mean they're going to necessarily be like you. Yeah. Sometimes it's these people with the loud ass parents, yeah? You know, and they're just not that way inclined, man. They're just so much more timid, quiet. They just want to just fade into the background. They're not like you. They're not loud like you. And that's not their fault. It's just who they are. You can't say it's their fault because they're like that. No. No. I mean, look, these kinds of questions,
and it's
they're
the same
really
thing
hard
for you.
Yeah.
Because you know what you're like as a person.
Yeah.
So you're like questioning yourself what type of evilness is going through your child for them to be bullying, because that's not your personality. That's not who you are.
Which is why I will find that harder. Which is why I will find that harder, because I wouldn't know how to handle that one.
Yeah, so maybe I'm the other way when I've looked back. I find it actually harder. It's just because of who I am as a person. That's the way how I'm looking at things.
Yeah. I think, and I think I answer, in the way that I do because of my past experiences. And fair enough, I can't say, look, if not for being good at sport, if not for being a fast runner, if not for being good at rounders, if not for being good at football, netball, badminton and all that, I would have been an easy target. But because these more popular people and these, people who used to attack, I got called names, but, they stopped when they realized my worth, when they realized my use. I was good at sport, so that was my thing. That is what stopped me from getting more than what could have potentially happened. Now, do I feel like... Look, back in the day, I thought I was at such a disadvantage. I was darker skinned. I was African. I was, all of these things that these people used to nitpick at, back in the younger days. I had so many things to my then disadvantage. That's how I felt. So, of course, I needed that thing that I could play to my advantage at the end of the day. So I kind of feel like even if I didn't have that thing to my advantage, what could I have done? And what could I have said to have, risen from all the bullying? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? So it's a tough one. And I can only go through my past experiences and say, I'd rather not hear that my child is the one causing all the pain, because I know what to tell. I know what to tell someone who's being bullied. I know that I need to tell them to tap into, their advantages, tap into what they're good at, focus on what they're good at, thrive in what they're good at, and show these people, listen, your words, your actions, didn't do nothing. In fact, they've made me successful. They've made me this. They've made me that. So go about your business with your evil self. And I was at the park in my area, literally the other day with Seth. He's running around happy as Larry, you know, being his normal noisy self. And these little rats, one of them shouted out, "Shut that F up!" Like, and then ducked. They were talking to Seth when he was doing his little shouty thing. Listen, I nearly dealt with somebody else's child, you know. I nearly dealt with somebody else's child because I was like, hold on a minute, who are you talking to? They're all ducking, pointing at each other. Like, don't ever. Like, do not ever. And those are the people who I'm not about to play with. It's those people that already now, if I ever see them, I've already cast my judgment on them. They are horrible, awful kids. That's it. You are awful. Because how dare you tell a little 1-year-old who's running around, you know, laughing, happy as Larry, being loud because he's in a park, to shut the F up. How dare you? And these are all seven age, 8-year-old little boys. You're running around talking to a 1-year-old like that. Trying to tell me I should be proud of someone like that versus the innocent one who was just running around having a good time. Nah.
Don't you think that you should maybe implement that into Seth? That he should stand up?
Trust me, it will be implemented.
So, okay.
It will be implemented. But those kinds of issues, you know, you just can't help. You know, and I can only pray that, you know, he is well equipped and he knows his worth and everything, and he'll be able to stand up for himself. And I kind of feel like Steph is going to be one of those boys you can't even come to. You can't touch. You can't look at him and think that you can move to my son. You'll just swerve and go somewhere else because not my child. Dying me.
You like to think and you like to hope.
That's all we can do at the end of the day. We can only give them the tools that we can to make sure they don't have to ever have to bully or be bullied. And on that note, if you want to join in the conversation, you know what to do, my peoples. Email your mum podcast at gmail.com. And if you want to roll up on here, you can let me know by emailing that same address. Thank you so much, Louan.
Thank you for having me.
Having this thought-provoking conversation. You've got a lot to think about, love.
Yeah.
If people are coming up to you telling you, you know, take it on board what they're saying.
I'm not taking nothing on board because I love
you shouldn't
the
have to
person
anyway.
who I am.
Amen to that. I'll see you soon, guys. Bye.